All righty, guys. Good morning. Welcome. This is our final top tier talk for the month of February. Time is flying by. I wanted to talk about a few different things today, maybe that we haven't really talked about in a little while. That is calling your leads. Okay. I know we. Say that you don't have to call your leads, and you don't have to. I've gone years without calling my leads. Now, I don't mean not calling them if they call you, or if they schedule an appointment. You always have to, obviously, call them. I have made very few sales without actually talking to somebody before. So, there's always that conversation. But what I mean is taking the initiative here and calling your leads that are in your back office, in your autoresponder. If you have phone numbers, if you're like me, you don't have phone numbers for everybody, but you have phone numbers for some, right? You're just going to exponentially increase your chances of making a sale, okay? I don't know what it is exactly. It's at least 10 times, right? By calling them. And this is for sure, you're going to speed up the sales cycle, right? The people that are going to sign up with you next year or 2 years from now, well, if you call them, they might sign up now, right? These are people, everybody has people in their database that like what they see with the opportunity, and for whatever reason, lots of people procrastinate, and then others have more valid reasons like no money or, whatever. But by calling these people and establishing a relationship and being able to get their questions answered, you're really going to speed up your chances of making a sale. Before we move to the next step, John, I assume you agree with that. I know you've called your leads way more than me.
Yeah, I totally agree because, like you said, there's a lot of people that like what they see, A, and B, they're shopping around, so we have competitors. So how do you get that guy over? Well, if you call him and have a couple good conversations or maybe even make a couple videos, which we've talked about before, you're personalizing everything. So now you have a chance for that guy in his mind to say, I really like this guy, Steve. He's called me, I've talked to him twice. And so now the sitting on the fence kind of tips him into the other thing. So you can definitely speed things up by calling leads in advance and being more proactive with it rather than just waiting for them to come to you, which some will too, but then when you do it that way, you have to go through a lot more leads, numbers wise, as compared to calling them. So yes, I agree.
Yeah, for sure. You just got to understand that if you're not going to call them, you're going to have to generate a lot more leads, like John just said, and be patient. For the most part, be more patient. But in my opinion, too, if you're not going to call your leads and you're not going to do videos, you're kind of up against it. You'll have some sales fall into your lap, but it's going to be tough going if you don't personalize the process.
Yeah, mainly because your competition is doing that. This is the age of technology, yep. And if you don't get up to speed on that, because you're not one of those guys, fine, but you got to figure out an alternative, because there's a lot of other people that are sending people personalized videos and follow-up autoresponders and all kinds of different things, and they could be beating you to the punch, that's for sure.
Yeah, all right, almost keeping up with the Joneses type of thing. All right, calling BizOp leads. We've talked about this, but not recently. I know that a lot of people on our team are not super tech, you know, wizards, savvy, whatever, you know, and you know, placing Craigslist ads is easy peasy, right? I mean, that's a piece of cake, but the other stuff maybe not so much. And I know that because I can see that, you know, a lot of people don't do anything else, right? So, you know, to kind of supplement Craigslist advertising, which is really reaching people that are looking for a job, right? We place our ads in the job section. These are people, for the most part. I mean, some are not. Some are looking for opportunities like ours, because if you ever go into a city and you click on the ads that are being placed by other people, it's a lot of biz op ads. You know, I mean, you got some markets. I know I was looking at Atlanta not too long ago, and I want to say almost every other ad was a biz op. You know, it was like crappy job, you know, or maybe insurance or something like that. Not even like good insurance, though. It's like, you know, what do you call it? The burial insurance or whatever. Pretty crappy commission jobs, or business opportunities like ours, or multi-level marketing companies or whatever. So there's a lot of that out there on Craigslist too. But calling BizOp leads, you know, these are BizOp is business opportunity, typically seeker leads, people that have responded to ads or whatever. They're interested in the home business. They may not know much about it, or they may have been involved before. You know, you never know. But that's a way to contact people that either want to be in the industry or have been in the industry before, right? So you're reaching a different demographic than you do on Craigslist for the most part. You know, there's lots of places to get leads. You know, we have a couple in the back office. I don't think I have Lead Power there anymore, but Lead Power is one of them that I know John's used in the past. We have our Lead Warehouse, which still is called P&G Lead Warehouse, but it's a pretty good lead company that we partnered with a few years back, a bunch of years back, I guess at this point. And their leads are pretty good as it comes to lead. You know, leads are what they are for the most part, but you know, it seemed like these guys' leads are pretty good. That's why we partnered with them. And honestly, I wouldn't buy the most expensive ones, you know. But you know, get yourself leads and give them a call. You know, it's non-techy. It's freaking simple. I wanted to click on this link just to show you, give you an idea of a script. Now, for the most part, you're not going to know the name of the program that you're in. If you buy genealogy leads, you will. But, you know, essentially it's, you know, hey, Frank, my name is Steve. You know, we don't know each other. I received some information that you're involved in the home business industry, I would say, if you want to be generic, right? Are you still doing that? Do you keep your options open? You know, and find out. You know, you're going to get hung up on a lot of the time, right? Well, you're going to get voicemails a lot of the time, but when people answer, you're going to get hung up on. Or you're going to go, nah, I didn't make any money, you know, or whatever. But, you know, just a simple 2-sentence, you know, kind of opener statement, I think is pretty effective, because you want to be fairly quick. And it's an easy thing to do. It's easy and it's cheap. You know, I know a lot of people on our team don't have a huge advertising budget, which is fine. You don't have to have a huge advertising budget, but, you know, play some Craigslist ads and maybe call some leads, you know, buy some leads, and you can keep calling them. You don't have to stop calling them. Keep calling them. You know, just this is another way to add to your sales funnel. And quite frankly, this will be a faster way to the end result of getting a sale than, you know, maybe a lot of the other stuff that we do.
Right, and you can adapt these to fit your personality, these kind of scripts after a while, which you will do. But the other thing is some leads, some companies, and I think I'm not mistaken, our warehouse has these two, has telephone interviewed leads. So that means they've been interviewed by some other agent. Let's say the guy's name was Dave. So when you get the lead, it'll give the phone number and the email and the et cetera, and it'll say interviewed by Dave. So then you call, hey, you don't know me, but you were interviewed yesterday by one of our representatives, Dave, because you were interested in the home base. And then they always go, oh yeah, I remember talking to Dave. So telephone one.
I think I might have that script. Yeah, that's definitely a different script.
Right.
Let's see what we got here. Purchase leads to call. Oh, I do have lead power. Okay, I got lead power. And then, wow. Okay, I forgot this was here, guys. So my bad.
Yeah,
but,
there it is.
Here's a,
there it is. Yeah.
Here's a yeah. So this is a purchase leads script. And wait, we're oh yeah, and we haven't talked about this in a while, but Lead Power does a great training
Every week
on
they have training, yeah.
on calling leads, and you don't have to even. Of course, they want you to buy the leads from them. Of course, that's why they do this, but you don't have to. You can show up to these trainings and actually not be a customer. And the trainings are really good. I'll admit I haven't been on one in a while, but I've been on them in the past, and really, really good. And I'm sure they're very similar now.
Yeah, and they actually, you will listen to them actually call real people, and you'll hear people hang up. You'll hear people ask questions, and it's really it kind of gives you a little confidence once you see the real deal.
Yeah, I think probably one of the biggest takeaways, obviously, other than maybe learning a new skill or whatever, is the fact that it's not as scary as it seems like it would be. Because I know if you've never done anything like that before, the idea of calling strangers and them hanging up on you or telling you to F off or whatever they might say is a little intimidating. But so maybe attending the live training, seeing somebody else go through it and realize that, oh, hey, that's not bad at all, because it's not, would be a good thing. But,
and every job has its, even a regular job has things you don't like. I remember 2 years ago, I was talking to somebody brand new, and I don't like calling people. I don't like this. I said, yeah, but the reason you signed up was you said you hate traveling to work. You hate being bossed around. You hate having to do this at your job, and you hate having to do this at your job. So you better choose between which one you hate more, because if you're going to keep doing the 40 to 50 hour week thing, fine. So this one, look at all the pluses. You got all this freedom. You get up when you want. You talk to people when you want. So no matter what you have, whether you own a business or have some kind of job, it's very rare to find something where you absolutely love all facets of it.
Yeah, most definitely. And hey, if you're flush with leads and you have a great system going and you're making sales, then don't worry about this stuff. But if you're not, and you're short on cash maybe, and you need to make some sales, in all honesty, this can be the fastest way to do it. It just is. Like, I wish I could tell you that, doing it the way I've done it for years, and placing ads and doing videos and having them waiting for somebody to book an appointment or whatever, it's not the fastest way. It's definitely not. This is going to be the fastest way for sure. All right. Oh yeah, I've never used this. John has used this in the past. Phone burner.
Yeah,
if you decide you want to do it, and actually physically dialing a phone number is obviously it's free. You use your cell phone or whatever, and but if you really want to get into this, and probably what you would do is start off making the dials yourself, find out that, hey, this isn't so bad, and maybe have a little bit of results. Then look at something like this, because it's not cheap. Let's see. I want to say it used to be 49 or 69 a month. Well, it's not that anymore.
Yeah, I think it went up 150 or something. Standard
If you pay
124.
you pay monthly, it's 149. That 124 is if you pay it all at once annually, which most people probably aren't going to do. So you're looking at the cheapest being $149 a month. So obviously you want to make sure that that you want to proceed with this and you're not going to half-ass it because it's not going to be worth it.
Let me tell you how cool this is. So you buy some leads and they have great customer support and videos. You call them up, they'll help you set up your system. You dial a number, hit a button, and it starts dialing all the leads that you put in. And 60% of the time, you're going to get a voicemail, if not more. But the cool thing is, in the background, as soon as it gets the voicemail, it goes on to the next lead without you doing anything. And behind the scenes, it leaves an email and a text. Of course, you have to set that up with your messages. So in an hour, this machine will dial easily 100, and you keep your stats. Maybe at the end of the 100, you talk to 17, and the other ones are not lost because you don't have to leave a message. It's leaving a message for you, and some of them will be calling you back. Now, so imagine if you're calling 100 leads a day, 5 days a week, that's 500 leads. Well, where do I get all those leads? Well, this system is usually based not on a Craigslist ad that will give you 5 or 6 leads, but purchase business op leads, find 500 of them, load them in, and then you grab this machine, and in an hour, you're done. Your morale is up. You've called 100 leads. It keeps track of all your stats. It'll tell you how many emails it sent out, how many text messages it sent out. And the good news is when somebody does live pick it up, you'll hear them. And you hit a little button, you say hello, and now you talk. In the meantime, the phone burner, the automatic dialer stops. You finish your two-way communication and say, okay, I'm going to be sending you something. And it keeps track of the ones that picked up, and then you hit resume and it starts again. I think there's even a demo on this page, isn't there?
You can schedule a demo.
Okay.
Um,
Product tour, remote dialing, it tells you everything.
Yeah, I'm not going to go through all this, but it looks like there's a video you can watch that will show you. So it's just phoneburner.com. But yeah, because of the price, I'd probably start manually dialing just to make sure that you're going to do it, and then and do something like this. But something like this is going to let you, because you're going to, in today's environment where people have spam blockers and people have, I never answer my phone if I don't know who's calling. You're going to get about 10 to 15% of the people are going to answer the phone. On average, so you're going to leave a lot of voicemail messages. But the important thing too is that using something like this is legal. Whereas, back in the day, we used to do voice broadcasting where a system would send out a message and, it was all automated essentially. That's not legal anymore to do. Even the ringless voicemails where you leave voicemail messages on potentially thousands of voicemails. Again, not legal. You can really get in trouble using those types of services. Whereas, something like this, when you're essentially live dialing, like you're there to talk to people, that is legal. So that's important as well. All right. This new message thing is driving me nuts there. Okay, what else do we got? Closing tips.
Yeah, I learned this a while ago when my wife and I were in an MLM, and this guy talked about the invisible close. And I went, what the heck is the invisible close? Instead of you trying to be this awesome salesman and ram this sale down the guy's throat and pissing him off and handling all his objections. And most people don't have that personality anyway. The invisible close is a little more subliminal. And what it is when you're talking to the guy, you want to make sure that you find his real reason. Like, why did he answer this Craigslist ad? Or why did he answer, why is he a BizOp lead? What's his reason? And it could be anything. And you want to get that reason out of the person and get them to state it, so you talk to him for a minute or two and he says, yeah, well, this COVID thing really screwed up my business. I had to lay off a lot of people. I'm not making as much money. I need to supplement my income, and my wife, she got laid off, so things are tough. And so, you're finding out his why now. The invisible close means the prospect closes himself, him or herself. Why? Well, once you find out the why, and then you tell him what the business opportunity is, you're raising his interest more and more and more. He's liking you more and more and more. And this may happen on one call, may take 2 or 3 or 4 calls. But the thing is, his interest is getting better and better. At some point, if it happens, the invisible close is he's going, I like this guy. This business looks pretty legitimate. I really think that I could maybe win at this. I really think that this could solve my problem. And he's going to mentor me. And plus, he's offering me this incredible deal. If I come in a couple of days, they're going to bump me up and give me all these bonuses. So the prospect in his mind thinks, I think this can solve my problem. I'm getting this incredible deal that I don't want to lose. So he closes himself because he feels he's getting the deal of the century. It doesn't matter whether he is or isn't. In his mind, he thinks that. So he pretty much closes himself. And like I said, that can happen on the first call. That can happen on a follow-up Q&A call. Maybe it takes 2 or 3. Steve and I have both had people in our pipeline, people that looked at the business 2 weeks ago, 2 years ago. And all of a sudden, something clicks for them. They're getting your autoresponder emails, whatever, their questions answered. Something clicks in their universe, their mental universe, and they go, you know what, I think this could solve my problem. And I actually think that this is an incredible deal. Oh my God, they're going to do this. So they think they're actually pulling the wool over you in a sense. Wow, I hope he doesn't change his mind. This is a really good deal. And that's the invisible close. And that's what you're looking for, because the other way takes a really sharp salesman, which not many people ever become. And even if you do that, if you ram a sale down a prospect's throat, man, one little thing goes wrong and that guy's all over you and he's upset because he doesn't feel like it was a nice process. Where if he closes himself, the invisible close, or a softer close, he feels like the whole process is pretty good. That's why car salesmen have such a bad reputation, because they're always trying to slam the sale down your throat as compared to being relaxed and doing it on their own. So that's what that is.
Yep. Yeah. I don't think the, that hard charging, stereotypical used car salesman, I don't think that really works in today's environment anymore.
No, not anymore.
For the most part, anyway. Like, I've even noticed the last few times I've bought a car, now it wasn't a used car, so I don't really know what used car sales. They may still be the same, but at a car dealership, super relaxed now, and I haven't felt pressure at all, and I kind of think that's how I've always sold. I'm not good at the other. I don't like aggressive salespeople, so I've never been one, because I wouldn't buy from, somebody that's super aggressive and maybe too slick or whatever.
Yeah.
But I talked to a prospect this week that called me and said he's been on my list for 2 years or whatever. So that's kind of what made me think of this topic of calling your leads, because I never called him, So it's possible that had I called him when he got on my list 2 years ago, that, he'd already had been a member for 2 years, you know. So I think that kind of, you know, made the point, or made me think that, you know, hey, you know, we got people on the team that maybe are still waiting to make their first sale, or not making the sale, you know, the number of sales that they want, and maybe are more impatient than I was in the beginning. And this is the simple recipe for speeding up that sales cycle. And you know, you got to do something to make money. You got to do something to get people in your pipeline. And you know, this is the way to certainly speed up the process. Does anybody have any comments or questions before we wrap up and go on our merry way for the weekend? All right.
No, very good.
Thank
Cool.
you.
Thanks. All right. Well, let's have a good weekend, and you know, let us know if you decide to implement this and how it goes. I'd love to know.
Sure,
All right.
I'll let you know. Thank you.
All right, take care.
Awesome. Thanks.
Bye.
Have a good weekend. See you guys.
Okay.